things were just, rough at home, rough at school. So I kind of just, fell into the wrong group of people, and it spiraled me. I got into a really bad relationship as well. Somebody who didn't treat me well, didn't have that respect for me, cheated on me and stuff, and that really took a toll on my self-esteem, took a toll on me as a person, and I just felt so lost and disconnected with myself, and I didn't know what direction I wanted my life to go in.
Welcome to the Elevated Hope Project, a podcast dedicated to celebrating stories of resilience, transformation, and second chances. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Elevated Education, an organization that serves at-risk students through innovative schools like East Point High School, Elevated Academy, and Accelerated Learning Center. At Elevated Education, we believe in the power of education to change lives and create hope where it's needed most. Today, we're honored to share the incredible story of Gabby. As a graduate of one of our Phoenix schools, Gabby's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the impact of a supportive community. Let's dive in. So, Gabby, thank you for joining us today. It's an honor. And when we started developing this podcast, I thought of you as one of our first guests because you came and spoke to our staff at our Elevated U, where we pull everybody together for professional development, and your speech was just so impactful. I'm pretty sure you got a standing ovation because of it from our entire team, and it's stories like yours that fuel each one of us, that keeps us showing up every day to do the work that we do. So really excited to have you on. Before we get started, one of the things we like to do on this podcast is give our guests just a small gift. So I have that here for you. It's a gratitude journal.
Oh, wow.
Give that to you.
Thank you.
We strongly believe in the power of gratitude and how that really shifts the mindset and, our focus going into each day. So that's kind of a guided, quick way to get your mind into a state of being grateful for all that is in your life. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that.
Thank you. I've needed something like this.
Good.
I do want to say thank you for having me. Very happy to be here. This is a great opportunity right now. So, but yeah, I agree. Gratitude. You need gratitude in your life.
Yeah.
That's how you excel.
Yeah.
Is this your first podcast, Gabby?
I've never been on a podcast
Okay,
before.
good. We're the first.
This will be the first of many, I'm sure of it.
Hopefully.
All right. Another one of our traditions on our podcast is we like to ask our guests, what's one thing that you're grateful for right now?
I'm grateful for my family. I know you said one thing, but grateful for my family, my girlfriend, my health, and just being able to be in the position I'm in right now.
Yeah, good. You worked hard to get there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive in, and we'll start by just kind of exploring your life from as early as you want to start, and just kind of tell us your life story and up to the point that you found our school, Accelerated Learning Center.
All right. So I was born in 2004, March 2004. Skip a few years. When I was a baby, grew up with my mom and dad, and then I'm the oldest of four sisters. So I have 3 little sisters. Yeah. And life is pretty good. There were some hiccups here and there, some things that happened, and I ended up when I was, I think around 10, ended up just, my mom was the only one in the picture, me and my little sisters, and they're all like babies, so things are kind of rough. We were living with my aunt, and I had to switch schools, which was really difficult. Going to school in Maricopa and having to meet a lot of new people and leave my friends and all of that was pretty difficult. And then eventually my mom met my stepdad. Well, he's not my stepdad, but I call him my stepdad. He's still a very big part of my life right now. He's a vital person who's helped me get to where I am. And yeah, so we were able to move back out to Scottsdale with Cam's help. And yeah, I started going back to school here and made some of my friends back. Kind of never really fit into any group at school. It's always been I've always kind of been a loner kid. Kind of like, I used to be like a big gamer, so I don't know. I didn't fit in. And yeah, also my identity also had a part of like why other girls like didn't want me in their groups, and I was kind of bullied for that a bit, and it was really challenging growing up like that, and just feeling like nobody wanted to be my friend. Like everybody just thought I was a weirdo. But eventually I found my group. Not until maybe around like end of middle school, high school. And it probably wasn't the best group for me, to say the least.
In what way?
I was just kind of getting into some trouble with them, and
Okay.
some people were just not a good influence to me. I was hanging out at the skate park with people who were in their 20s and older than me, and I've always had friends that were older than me. I've always been the youngest of my friends, which, I mean, it kind of impacted me in good and bad ways. Good being that it's kind of somebody to look up to, somebody who's already been, I guess, not in my shoes, but my age. So somebody to get advice from, but also there were times that there were big kids that were not a good influence.
Right.
Sure.
And I guess that kind of got me started when I was going to Desert Mountain. Things were already rough at home. I mean, my dad had just came back into my life, and things were just, rough at home, rough at school. So I kind of just, fell into the wrong group of people, and it spiraled me. I got into a really bad relationship as well. Somebody who didn't treat me well, didn't have that respect for me, cheated on me and stuff, and that really took a toll on my self-esteem, took a toll on me as a person, and I just felt so lost and disconnected with myself, and I didn't know, like, what direction I wanted my life to go in. So from that point, I ended up moving with this person from Desert Mountain to Saguaro, and Saguaro was definitely a better experience for me, although I was kind of just not really into school at that time at all. Like, I barely showed up. When I was there, I just wasn't really engaged at all, and I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And yeah, at some point while I was there, I was going through some personal things as well. And eventually I just stopped going altogether. And that was a rough patch. I was probably out of school for give or take like a year or so. I was just working at Dairy Queen and, not doing good stuff, just, getting in trouble and stuff. And through that, there was a point where I was just like, I don't want to continue on like this. Like, I want to do something with my life. I need to get out of this, like, terrible position that I'm in, and waking up and feeling like I don't have any hope or any purpose or even anything to live for some days. And I found my mom did some research, and she eventually found ALC. And we were like, okay, great. So we went and met with Mr. Keebler, and he was a really cool guy. From the first time that we met him at the orientation, we were like, okay, this is perfect. So yeah, after that, and I had tried many online schools as well. Never liked it. That was another thing, the coronavirus. Being a part of I think I was in sophomore year. It was sometime at Saguaro. I believe, when the coronavirus hit, and that was also really difficult to navigate,
Yeah,
you know,
for
as
sure.
it was for many kids and pretty much everybody. That time was pretty bad for everybody, I feel like.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so we found ALC and we were super happy, my sister and I, and we started going there, and it was nice. I liked the format of, you know, you go to school for 4 hours and a lot of it is on your own time work, and I just like the format. I like the teachers. One of my favorite teachers were, I don't know if you guys remember Mr. Shu.
I never knew him. No.
He was really sweet. He taught PE and history.
Okay.
Probably my favorite, though, was Mrs. Wright.
Yeah.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Why would you
Yeah.
say she was a favorite for you?
She was just funny. Like, she was really funny. She was relatable. We would crack jokes together, and whenever I needed help, she was very, like, understanding and helped me through, you know. But she also had, like, that good personality where, like, it doesn't even feel like, okay, somebody's, like, reprimanding you, telling you, like, she was teaching, but it almost didn't feel like teaching. She made it fun and personable, and yeah. So that was, I always enjoyed being in her class. I remember, I think my last year at ALC, or like my last semester, I think I had her for like all of my classes, something like that. So
Wow.
yeah, spent a lot of time with Mrs. Wright.
That's good.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
And she was still your favorite. You didn't get sick of her or anything.
No, I've heard mixed stories about Mrs. Wright, but I think as long as you got on her good side and did your work, she would cut you some slack, which was always nice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we often hear of fond memories from students of working with Mrs. Wright. And I think a big part of it is she's just real. Like, she just tells you how it is, and, like,
Yeah.
you know, clearly defines where you're at now and where you need to go and how she can help you get there. And I think that really connects with a lot of people.
Yeah, she's a very to the point person.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And she made the class funny too. She'd make the class laugh all the time.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. So as you're kind of feeling lost in the shuffle at Desert Mountain, which is a very big school, and you transfer over to Saguaro and never really find your group or your community, is that when did you start falling behind in school at that point, prior to officially dropping out?
Yeah, and there was some other things that kind of came into play with not completing my work, just stuff that, impacted my mind.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go to school and just do what I had to do. I was just focused on other things. My friends were also focused on other things. Like, we were kind of just going to school just to, hang out and just do whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of that did, like, come into play and come up to bite me in the behind later in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I found out, like, I mean, when you're that age, when you're younger, you're gonna make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes you make the wrong mistake and it haunts you for years afterwards, and you need to be able to pull yourself out of that.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize that and to do that. And
What do you think it was? You described taking a year out of school, a year-ish, where you weren't doing any school at all, but then you were fed up with that, right? Like, what was it that caused you to finally decide, I don't want this for my life. I want something different?
Specifically, I don't know. I think I just, was getting tired of my lifestyle of just having little to no purpose, and, And there was one night that my mom sat down with me, and it really impacted like the decisions that I make even today. And I love my mom. She's the best person that I've ever known. Sweetest lady, like would give the shirt off of her own back to a stranger in the road, like that kind of woman. And there was a night that I think I was just struggling, and she like knelt down besides me, and she was crying, and she was like I would do anything to go back and finish high school and go to college and, you know, just finish high school even. And that really spoke to me. She was like, please do that for me if you can't do it for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of always in the back of my mind, like, even when I wake up some days now and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And
That's a major motivator.
yeah, it's like, I want to make my mom proud. I want to make my dad and my sisters who look up to me, and I want to make my girlfriend proud. You know, I have a lot of people cheering me on, which keeps me going, because if I didn't have that in my life, I probably would have never gotten out of that rut that I was in.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about that often, just the power of a supportive community and helping. You know, we're all going to inevitably fall down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or make a mistake or whatever.
Yeah, it's part of life.
Yeah. But having that supportive community that lifts you up and encourages you to keep taking those steps forward, keep showing up, keep putting in the work. And that's ultimately what leads us to success, is like that resilience to keep working. Like, don't give up. Mm-hmm. Right? You never can call it quits, because that won't lead you to the vision of what you have for your life, right? Unless you are willing to put in that work. So
yeah,
I think that we can all relate to what you're saying, and having that super supportive group of people around you to keep nudging you forward, maybe giving you a kick in the pants every now and then.
Yeah, definitely. And I think being with my girlfriend also, she was an IB student at Desert Mountain, very good student. She's going to U of A now for neuroscience, so
wow,
she's a very smart girl. But she always pushed me to do better, even when I would sometimes be like, I don't want to do this, like, I don't care about any of this. She'd be like, you have to do it. You have to graduate high school at least at some point. And I realized I'd quit some of my bad habits that I was doing, and I just had this like clarity come over me, like, I'm not dumb. My brain works. I can do this. This is easier than I thought it was. It was like some like wall in front of me that just was lifted over my head, and I was able to just walk through, and I was able to graduate at ALC, and right after I graduated in I think January of last year, I started up at SEC at Scottsdale Community, and it's been great. I got my scholarship, which was very awesome. Mr. Coffee helped me a lot with that, and actually, when I got that scholarship, it's a funny story. I was doing the scholarship for one of my assignments in my, it was my first year experience class at SEC, and one of the assignments was pick a scholarship, and they gave a bunch of lists of scholarships, and around that time, Mr. Coffee had just coincidentally sent me this scholarship for the Ethan Legacy Scholarship, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. I'm going to do this one.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting to get picked out of it. I just, wrote an essay and turned it in, and
so you got the scholarship and you got class credit for doing that? Nice.
Yeah, it was a win-win.
Double whammy.
Yeah, so that was amazing, and the happiness that I felt that night on graduation, getting to hold up my big fake check, that was
yeah,
that was so amazing. That'll always be one of my favorite memories.
good.
And
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you brought that up. That last school year was the first year we did that scholarship, and you were one of the first recipients of that, and it was a really cool moment to see you up there with that big check, and it was all for me it was a cool moment to go drop that check off at the student services office at Scottsdale Community College to, for them to apply that to your account. And because we want to.
That big, huge check.
No. I rewrote it on a regular size one. But just having the opportunity to help you in your journey, it's just been really cool. And to then stay connected with you through you coming to our all staff meeting, for you being here, has just been an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how are things going at Scottsdale Community College?
They're going great, honestly. Yeah, I don't know how to say it without bragging, but
Do it. Brag. You get to.
I just joined the honor rolls, which is something that if you told me that I was going to join honor rolls a few years ago, I would have laughed in your face, honestly. But yeah, I've got I have a 4.0 GPA, and
Wow.
I've been just really on top of school, been working, and it's been a lot of work, to say the least.
What are you studying there?
Business.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's studying business right now, but I feel like it's such a versatile major. You're not really confined to one career that you can have from that. And if you don't know what you want to do, like myself, I don't really have any calling in life where I'm like, okay, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an architect. I don't have that. So I felt like this was the safest route to go, just so that, I've come to learn that the best thing is having an education.
Yeah.
And not even just because like you get to go through school and stuff. You get to have these experiences at school that you wouldn't have otherwise, that are pretty important to like your life and like your development and learning about yourself, learning about the world. And I think it's important. I think everyone should get an education for sure.
Yeah, we often talk about how education is something that will always give you options in the future, right? So graduating high school, you'll always have the option of going to college if you choose to. Having that associate's degree and then a bachelor's degree and whatever else you obtain, that's just going to open more options for you as you start to go into the workforce of, some jobs are going to require a minimum of a bachelor's degree. And if you don't have that, that job's not an option. Yeah. And when you have that, then the world just starts to open up more and more for you. So I agree. I think it's incredibly important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people want to hire you, and they see how hard you've worked, and I mean, you have something to show for, and you're a professional in what you do, and you get to, study it. And it's been great getting to like, learn about like all these grown-up words like accounting and
balance sheets, and
income sheet statements and economics and all of that stuff. And you get to see how it really does like apply to your everyday life. Like I will come from actually just came from accounting and economics, and I'll go to work and we're doing the accounting stuff at work, and I hear these terms, or I'll hear my stepdad on the phone talking about, like expenses and things like that. So all of it really does come to play in your like everyday life.
Yeah.
Which you don't realize until you get that education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So it sounds like you don't know exactly what's next for you, but do you have some sort of vision or dream developing in your mind as to what your future could hold?
Yeah, I do want to be a business owner. I may be going in the direction of, well, so in October I began working at my father's coin shop, and I've really taken a liking to coins. I've always kind of liked history, and it's been fun. So if I wake up one day and I'm like 26 and I'm like, okay, what's next? I will probably open up a coin shop, or maybe even something along those lines. I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
To, but it is stressful being a business owner. I could tell. I see my dad, and he just is always getting phone calls and having to run errands for people, and having to, being the face of a business is difficult, and I'm kind of anticipating that, but also I feel like being the oldest child, I kind of have some of those leadership skills, and I mean, it's taken a long time to develop them, but I feel like I'd be able to kind of handle that and be able to be like a cool boss.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, just from our interactions with you, I can tell you that you are a leader, but also encourage you in that pursuit of becoming a better leader will never end, right? It's something that you'll always have to work on and grow in, and making sure that your leadership style is one that is caring for and building others up, to move them forward in your life, or move them forward in their life, because it can be a trap as a leader to just be heavy-handed to get what you want and get it now, get people to behave the way that you need them to behave in the business. But the long-term view is really caring for and serving other people.
Yeah, definitely.
To, whatever role they move on to next after they're done working with you, that they're equipped to thrive.
Yeah, and if I had somebody work for me, I'd hope that they would be able to be better off after, say, they go on to something else. And, I really do live by, like, you're not being a leader if you're acting like you're above other people.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to have some, like, leadership and be able to say, okay, like, I'm the boss. But you have to uplift the people as well. And
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work for a business that they feel like their role isn't needed, because a business can't run if you don't have your employees. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I've worked in places where I felt like I wasn't being treated right. It was a fast food place, and I mean, they would give me some of the, like, not that good jobs, and then they'd give a new girl the job that I wanted. And so, yeah, I would never want to make somebody feel like that.
Yeah,
And
like they're not appreciated.
yeah, and
Yeah.
being on both ends of the spectrum, I feel like, you get to kind of learn, being a leader. And I was a shift leader at Dairy Queen, so
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of,
It's a good experience.
I do need to work on being more affirmative, but I mean, I will work
You'll get
on
there.
it. And
Just
yeah.
the fact that you know that you need to work on it means you will get better at it.
Yeah, I just need that what's it called? Like that push.
Yeah.
I need to, learn that I just need to be more confident at times, but
You have a lot of
getting there.
natural wisdom, Gabby. Like, you just seem to think clearly and critically.
Thank
And
you.
So my question, because of that, is about giving advice to someone else who is now in the position that you were in years ago. So what do you wish someone maybe would have told you, especially back when you were struggling at Mountain Ridge High School? What did you need to hear?
That there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that change begins with you. And nobody can force you to act a certain way or do something or make a change in your life. And nobody can, like, pull your hand and make that stuff happen. I mean, people can be around you, and definitely that support does come into play a lot when, you know, when making that decision to better yourself or, like, make adjustments in your life. But, yeah, I would say just don't give up. Never give up. And just, you know, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your mom. Do it for your dog. Like, do it. Just find a reason and just run with it.
Yeah.
Don't look back. That's what I say.
That's good advice.
Good.
Thanks.
Love that. Gabby, last question for you, and then we'll let you go. What's something that gives you hope right now?
Something that gives me hope, probably my mom, my dad, my sisters, and my girlfriend, and my stepdad, and the hope to be as successful as the people that I look up to. You know, that's just being able to support for my family, and I hope to be able to buy my mom a nice house one day.
Yeah.
Just things like that make me hopeful, and yeah, just being able to say that I made it and that I, you know, worked hard to get there.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Family is just so important, and it's a good source of hope when that's healthy and intact. And so yeah, we can relate to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when all else falls short, you always have your family, so
That's right.
you gotta hold on to them, even if they make you upset sometimes. You gotta.
That never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's always family.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Love
that. All right. So approaching the end of our time here, but your story is one of just incredible resilience and just the shift that happened to you that, you know, ultimately transformed your life, to going from, you know, a big school environment where you're feeling lost, like you don't belong, you know, you're kind of alone, to dropping out eventually, and then having to navigate the turmoil of the pandemic and schools being shut down and trying to figure out how to do this online, and that not going well, to then, you know, enrolling at ALC and having a completely different experience of, you know, thriving in school, doing well, going to college, receiving a scholarship. Like, what a turn of events. That was just incredible to see. You know, we got to see it on kind of the back end of things, and do the fun work with you of seeing you graduate and taking a picture with you with the big check. And, you know, those were fun moments to celebrate, but I know that there was a lot of work and blood, sweat, and tears that went into, you know, you putting the work in to get you to that point. And we're really proud of you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without ALC and Mr. Keebler's support and being in that kind of one-on-one environment there.
yeah.
I needed that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And there's times in each of our lives where we need that extra support
Mm-hmm.
and those people around us that are going to just keep encouraging us day after day. So,
Yeah, definitely.
the one thing I want you to know is, you know, us in this room and everyone in our company just respects you so much for being who you are and the leader that you are. And, you know, we just want you to know that you are loved, and this is a place where you can always come back if you need help in anything, right? Writing a resume or, you know, whatever it might be. We are always here for you. The door is always open.
Thank you.
So please don't be a stranger. Stay connected with us.
I definitely will. I mean, I always have to revisit who helped me get there. So, yeah, I really appreciate you guys. You know,
Yeah.
you guys changed my life.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I'll finish with this. You know, your story shows us what's possible when determination meets opportunity. It also highlights the mission of elevated education to serve as a bridge to hope and success for students through schools like East Point High School, Elevated Academy, and Accelerated Learning Center. Gabby, thanks again for being with us today. It was an honor to spend this time with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.